Hello, hello. Is that? I don't know why that disconnected, but it just decided that the mic should be selected as no mic rather than the mic that I've always used. I didn't change that setting. Didn't tell it to do that. I guess I connected headphones to it, so maybe that's what. Anyway, hello, hello, Brennan. Hello, Mahir. Good to see you guys. Um, I believe I'm working now. Tell me that you can hear me. Give me good news. Also make myself a reasonable size. I'm looking at data. I'm looking at runner data because we need to fix this. You're all getting farmed, and it's an issue. And it's such an issue that people are like, the meta's not balanced. The meta is balanced. It's fine. But we can fix this. It's pronounced data. All right. I actually don't really have like a strong preference. Like usually I have a preference. That one, data and data, there's a situation for both. I have a nuanced take on this one. You won't get many nuanced takes from me, but that's one. Um, Obviously, corp side, everyone's having a good time. There's so much like stuff you can play. There's so many good corp lists. They don't need any help. They don't need double bulb intervention. What needs help is runner intervention because like what's going on over here? 43%. Guys, you're going to get stuff banned that does not deserve to be banned and is never getting unbanned, okay? I like how neither data nor data sounds like how it's spelled. How would you pronounce it phonetically? I think just data. Like if it was a RATA, I'd say it's like rata, so data. Maybe that's the nuanced take. I'm just trolling, but highly enthused you use the different pronunciation. Yeah, I don't have consistency for that one, so yeah, that's a good point. But back to topic. I will allow myself to be distracted at some point in this stream, but we're going to see whether we can get a couple minutes in talking about actual Netrunner. Ban list is coming, like updates coming soon. I think Corp is going to lose some cards, maybe just like one card. There's only one thing that I think is likely, personally, which is RLC, red level clearance. I think I've talked to a couple of people, like not people with insight, but just like in the community, and I agree with the idea that like if you ban this card, the combo PD gets like cut back down to a much more reasonable playable state. Still, you can still do it if you want to do it. You can still do it, but it becomes way easier to interact with and way less flexible, so it becomes more difficult to achieve. And your interaction with the runner will count for more because you can't just have the holes in their game plan patched by RLC, doing things clicklessly. So if the concern is that the combo PD is the best deck by a lot and Worlds will just be everyone playing combo PD and no one having very much fun, that is the only thing that I think it is likely that this card gets banned, and there is no other card that I think makes much sense to ban. Obviously, what do you do about this enormous Meleus chunk? And my answer is nothing. Runners can just figure it out. Okay, I've been building decks that are good against Meleus. You should be building decks that are good against Meleus. I played Padma. Padma farms Meleus. Really good matchup. Well, pretty good matchup. Playable matchup. I'm playing Stealth Lu. Stealth Lu wins the matchup. You can do it. You can beat Meleus. You just need to build your decks carefully, or have an extremely sound game plan outside of that. How do you beat Meleus and Alcal is actually really difficult. Like these two require like fast, aggressive interaction, and this one requires you to have unbelievable resilience. So you do need to be able to do both. And with the new the new Nuvang list, which I actually think are pretty strong, and I expect to see a lot of them. You also need to be doing like a hidden third thing, which is contest over big barriers. early, which Alcoder doesn't ask that you do, and PD doesn't ask that you can do. I went through a whole rigmarole of testing out different influence and variations on Red Crim, cutting Baker, multiple Chesver, etc., and then ended on the same Crim list I started with. I don't think I want any bans. Yeah, so people have just realized that Crim is totally playable and always maybe has been as well. Muesli Hat, perfectly fine, 100% playable. Vic and Az, fine, not bad at all. I was a bit surprised when I looked at the data last to see how many people are playing ESSA. And I wonder whether the ESSA list has been optimized, because ESSA's tech seems pretty good right now. The only downside to playing ESSA right now is that both of these are on Regenesis. So that's a bit scary to just constantly be offering them to put agendas into archives. Not great. It's funny how far behind every other corp is. My prediction was that no one would play RH ever again now that Melius exists. And yeah, it looks like 160 players to 7. ESSA is just because Protheseus got half of Scrubs on ESSA and they're doing well, so he's right. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't revealed this to stream yet, but this is what we could be doing today. Is if you go to my deck list, I've got 3 different ESSA lists that have all been I've been experimenting with online. First idea, Hermes ESSA. Idea? Hermes in ESSA is crazy. ESSA gets way more agendas than anyone else for free because the idea ability just kind of gives them to you. So it allows you to kind of interact with the game state, the board state that the corp cares about by interacting with the board state that you care about. So you get to run centrals and then use Hermes to disrupt the remote. Or vice versa if you need to do it that way. So this is a cool idea. I also was trying out tunnel vision in it because like I was finding that I didn't really need a breaker suite with what I was doing. I was kind of just throwing core damage everywhere, and then Hermes was getting me into servers. My actual breakers were not doing it. So I thought, hey, what about tunnel vision? Turns out tunnel vision is a pretty bad card. It's 3 influence. Influence is super tough in ESSA because like you can see in this list, it's just got no draw. Usually I just shove loads of draw into my decks and I do really well with them, and this one has no draw and it's tough. This was me rejigging the influence so I actually have draw with the nukers, and the tunnel vision I kept, but then I didn't have the influence for Hermes, so I'm just doing like regular Marrow. It's like the main reason why you don't always run Hermes in ESSA is because you need Marrow to survive for long enough. And yeah, Marrow is easy to play with, makes a lot of sense. The text on Hermes is insane, but ESSA is kind of built around Marrow existing. So not doing Marrow means you got to kind of do weird hippocampic mechanocyte stuff, which is not a great card. And it's also 2 influence, which makes you draw less, really. So yeah, this was cool. It was fun. Just loads of like AI to make the runs that count, so you can contest occasionally and you could reprise to help. But I think this is also overcooking the meal. I just started pivoting to, what if you put reprise in ESSA? What if you kind of took the Hermes effect of I can bounce stuff and I just put it into ESSA where it's really easy to pick up so to pick up agendas that you didn't really work for, and you can do it early in the turn. So I'm trying out, like, this is a much more normal breaker suite. This is actually the face ESSA, like aggro ESSA list that was popular a little bit ago. But I've rejigged some things and I've added a reprise with the idea that you can use reprise with Katorga Breakout. So you could Katorga Breakout into the archives, get back a reprise, steal all the agendas that are in there, and then reprise like the remote ice or something like that. I also put a chain reaction over the third fermenter, and it's probably bad. But like I didn't really like the fermenters that much in here. They were like not really the way that I want to be doing money in ESSA, I feel. So I tried chain reaction because it's another thing where it's like if it lines up, I can get it back with my 2 Katorga breakouts. and I also have like running hots and stuff, so it's not. I could even chain reaction multiple times in a turn, but like then I was just like, nah, it's not really worth it. What's the list that I currently have jigged up in? In JNAT. Yeah, no, this is the same. Basically the same. So yeah, it's a work in progress, trying to figure it out. Man, having to run like these default Anarch breakers is pretty tough. One moment. But like if I don't have influence to spend on breakers, then wow, new ESSA. Yeah, we're doing new stuff. Theory is like if I can contest archives, I can get agendas from LASU and then I can reprise their big ice. Doesn't sound so bad. This could be great against New Vang is the idea as well, because they run really big eyes, but they often end up with agendas and archives and don't have that many ways to deal with it. The Jai's New Vang list, for example, I think was only on 2 spin doctors. Actually, I don't need card search, I need deck lists. Recent. Popular? Yeah. Like, reprise into this deck? Hell yeah. Protheseus has started playing 1 to 2 Rising Tides to compensate for getting gear checked. Yeah, the fact is, like, I don't know how many early runs I'm really making that are being... Because I got 3 Botulus, right? So my gear check situation is not so bad, in theory. I also own 3 Wildcat Strikes. It's an okay card with Ghost Tongue. It's obviously not great, but it's kind of like draw. And in a way, I prefer it to the Fermented, because like, we don't really have that much... with 3 Botulus being played, we don't have that much MU. I'm wondering whether I need like a hand 2 in here as well, because this Revolver does run out of counters. Problem with Botulus is one half of the meta decks is playing Tattoo Bowler. Yeah, true, but like, if we're running the gear checks, we'll get the Begamot down eventually. But yeah, maybe if I just like, Rising Tide is just a very reasonable thing to have on the board. Like, rare is it that Rising Tide is terrible. Wildcat Strike is also like a way to cash out Mystic money, which otherwise we don't have that many ways to do. So I think the chain reaction is probably overcooking. So let's try and make some improvements. Chain reactions don't overcook the meal. I could definitely see a Rising Tide. We've already got too many cards in here. If only there was a way to break sentries in this game. What other killers are there? Actually, it's got to be like T killer, right? What's the type? I forget the frickin' S, because it's subtype? I can't remember. Charm offensive rather than chain reaction? Yeah, it could work. Could synergize with the destruction package. I have to turn on programs in the filter for icebreakers to show up. Is that true? I think if you search for cards, it always works. But I guess, yeah, I was filtering, so... And then it's T or S. There we are. Okay, Boitata. So what are the sentries that I need to break? I need to break Drafter, and I need to break like Lion's Mane. And I need to break, I guess, the OP one, Event Horizon. Boitata does the job. In fact, you can break Event Horizon for 1. That's something. But I have to have trashed a card, which I don't really do. I can trash Nukas. Fermenters, yeah, it's not really happening. So it's not going to be Boitata. Hand 2 is kind of terrible, but it does break gear checks pretty well. We don't have enough cards to trash for Boitata. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. Although I have been thinking about bringing this back into Shaper now that everything is big sentries, because it does do some okay stuff. Like, and with a like the 1 base strength is pretty bad, but I guess it breaks Drafter for 3 still. Not great, even if with the good text, that's a bit tough. Anyway, hand 2 actually doesn't seem that bad to me. Obviously it's not Revolver, but I'm wondering if I can run multiple Reprise if I'm allowed to run hand 2 to save influence. And it's not so bad, is it? Like, that's pretty bad. But it does break Drafter for 2 and it's installed. It can do it twice. And how many times do you have to break Drafter? We're not like running that many times. Odore. I can't remember what this text is. Cost 4, which is tough. 0 base strength, that's tough. And then 3 for 3 strength. 2 breaks any number of sentry subroutines. Or if I have 3 or more installed virtual resources, I can actually break subroutines for 0. Is this how I do magic in Anarch? Can I do that? Is that allowed? Wait, are we cooking? I just import. Wait, I could just import Chromatophores, Picha Chow, and Illuminations. Sidebar. You run a deck. 0 base strength is rough, not if you're running Cyber Trooper Tulu. Not if you're running Cyber Trooper Tulu. We are doing it with... How are we doing this? We don't really have an ID that does this very easily. Topan? Doesn't seem like a combo ID. But maybe it's fine. At that point we play RE Chain Reaction. It's not going to be Phoenix, too interactive. It's not going to be Essa, doesn't do the right thing. Rio gets extra influence. Begamot Palungi exists. Yes, it does exist. It is influence heavy. It is not what we need, because if I'm doing a magic, like a combo deck, I'm just thinking about Mega Magic and can I fit it into Anarch instead? So I need 6. You get 2 extra influence on Rio, even though the text is nothing. You get these. We don't need 3 illuminations because we have Katorga breakouts. Then we get to run Cyber Trooper Tulu. And then we just need Chromatophores. How many? These are 2 each? Oof. Begamot Palungi is an idea. So yeah, at that point we play RE Chain Reaction. I could try RE Chain Reaction one day, but I think it seems bad. It's 5 influence. You can't really do that. Am I allowed to go for fewer Chromatophores? I could go to 1 illumination and then just Katorga breakout it. Okay. This is the start. Then what's the eventual goal of Mega Magic? The eventual goal of Mega Magic is, oh, yeah. Good point. We also need to fit in Conduit. There's nothing else that allows us to, and this is for influence, there's nothing else that allows us to see deeper into R&D continuously, right? Uh, hmm. Like, Stargate is once per turn, so that doesn't do the job. You have Monkey Wrench in faction too. You can do it with Odore. I guess it doesn't have to be... How do you deal with this deck buzzing in your head before? Nope, I just saw Odore. I saw that it can break subroutines for 0, and was like, can I go infinite? Anything that costs 0, I'm going to go infinite. So Stargate doesn't work because it's only once per turn. There's nothing else that's like whenever you... Let's just... We're just going to find everything that says whenever on it. Nope. Nope. Although this could work for us. Nope. 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 It's interesting that when it always says whenever you breach R&D during a run on archives, access one additional card. You don't actually need Eerie's text to be the thing that breaches R&D during a run through archives. You could do this with Baker if you wanted to. Just throwing that out there. Food for thought. No, this doesn't do anything. None of this does anything. Okay, so we don't have a win con. Okay, this doesn't work. Scrap the idea. Leave. Let's get back to what could actually work. Essa. We've got... Yeah, I'm just thinking... Hand 2. If Lampades didn't have power counters, you could trash the whole deck with the combo? Yes. You would need a lot of stealth credits. More stealth credits than I think is possible to generate. Have you been abandoned by wage workers? I mean, they're still around. I see them in places, but they're not progressing the meta at the pace that it deserves, I feel. So I'm taking it upon myself as the institution that I am to change the meta just before the bans come in, when it's all going to be for naught. Just kidding. I think the meta should be basically the same because it's pretty fun right now, and very, very balanced as far as things go. Except for the fact that runners are losing, but that's a skill issue, partially. Yeah, Lampades is... God, this card is so bad. But yeah, in theory, this does say whenever. But... Yeah, it's 3 power counters, it doesn't do the job. I guess you could, like, if there was a way to, like, loop Gourmands or something like that, just trash the whole deck. Lucy, are there any cards that let me do something whenever I access R&D? Because I was thinking for a moment about, can I put Mega Magic into Anarch and use all the sweet Anarch cards? Confirmed Brewing Runner today? Yep. Runners need help. They need the Carnivore. Wait. Once per turn. Why do I even ask? Just kidding, we're not putting Carnival in this deck. Yeah, Lucy doesn't know anything about Netrunner cards, is what we're learning. Probably doesn't really have a particularly deep understanding of them. Um, Rigging up Lampades. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Um, okay. Because just fitting a second reply so that this game plan can be consistent seems really cool. But to do that, I need a way to break sentries somewhat reasonably that is not just like hoping to botulus them. And what is it? X? S? There you are. Odor is not going to be it because we don't want to do this. 3 virtuals is a lot, and we're not doing companions and stuff. Is this the prophesized solitaire, but we actually try and play the deck? No, that probably looks a little different because I think to be a solitaire deck, you need to be running the virus package to have like 2 different axes of Sabo. This is an aggro Essa that also has like power plays that it can make, which is possibly not that great because it just dies to measured a little bit, but might be fine. I like the idea of playing it into New Vang because reprising is it'll be very easy to get the agendas, and reprising against New Vang is pretty warping, like game winning, right? I don't think we're allowed to do Noom. Noom is technically works, but it is unbelievably expensive upfront. Echelon's been shouted out. Echelon does technically is 1 influence, which is super, super nice. It's so nice to have this down for one influence, and it's such a good killer. But yeah, there's still issues with it, right? Like, actually, where is the 1 influence? I guess I don't need Bybans. Okay, Bybans gone, Echelon in as a 1-of. And that way I can have Echelon, Begamot, Abyssay. And this is a virus Trojan, so this does not count as a icebreaker, right? Even though it breaks ice. Explain that to me. Huh? It breaks ice, but it's not an icebreaker. I don't know, man. And then I guess we can have like a Rising Tide. And that way Echelon can be at strength if we actually wanted at strength. We're doing a rig, so we can probably run our Paladin, and it would probably pay itself off between some Fermenters, some Botuluses, a Rising Tide, an Echelon, a Begamot, and an Abyssay. The reason was they didn't want to put strength on it. It needs strength to be a icebreaker. I would have thought that the breaking ice part of it would be the thing that gave it the ice breaking property, not the not anything else. We were at 52 cards. That's too many. I don't know if I actually like Fermenter that much. Wildcat Strike's a little bit sus. I like everything else here. I like the 2 reprise. I don't know if we need these raindrops. Honestly, a tungsten would help Echelon and Abyssay. I don't know if you want to invest in that. I think that's overcooking how much we're going to actually be breaking ice. I think we're not trying to break that much ice. That's a pretty expensive card. It does work with what, like, maybe it will help Begamot get to thresholds. I doubt it's going to be that big of a deal. Abyssay is going to be inefficient no matter what. It's not like, you know, I don't think it like gives it an amazing breakpoint. Abyssay is always pretty bad. We could do like Buzzsaw with a tungsten, but like, I don't know. I don't even think that's that cheap. Yeah, I don't mind having our Paladin. We've got 2 nurses. Maybe that's too many nurses, but a nurse early is going to be nice. Hello, Griffin. What are we up to? We're cooking some reprise Esser list. Do I still need Pinhole when I also have reprise, or can I fit the third reprise? The third reprise is just silly. Don't do that. We're just shipping 49 cards, right? We could also do daily cast now that we have Paladin. That could be a lot of money. It might be better than the Fermenter because our MU is pretty tied up if we're actually doing Botuluses. Maybe Fermenter is just a good card and we just have it in the deck. I'm not sure we need all these Wildcat Strikes. And then I guess we can go down to one Mystic. Maybe this is less aggro. But hey, it's Esser. You know, sometimes it's just a crapshoot and you win anyway. I've got to change my keyboard to English US so that my keyboard works. And then we're doing this, and let's save the replay in case we want to look it back, watch it back. Is this going for deck out or more good stuff? This one's definitely not going for deck out. It can do a lot of Sabo, but really deck out requires an insane amount of Sabo, and we don't got that much. We've got a S's text, Chastushka. We can even get multiple Chastushkas because we're on some extra Katorgas. But other than that, we're just kind of playing. So we need to steal an agenda from a more reasonable zone than just all in on decking them out. Maybe it'll happen if the Corp doesn't advance their own interests, but the fact is deck out decks are not particularly real. You can threaten it, which is good, but at the end of the day, the Corp can see it, a good Corp will see it coming and start aggressively pursuing their own plan. They may lose while they do that, but they're never going to just roll over and not put an agenda on the table and double advance it and just say, if you can get in, you can get in. If you can't, then I'm not just going to take the guaranteed loss of a deck out. So I got a couple for the video that I did about Eurogame Esser, where people were just kind of surprised at how quickly it kicked in. But if you're playing properly, you should not get decked out, really. So you can hear my dishwasher in the background, I think. What's everyone got planned for their weekend? Anything fun? I'm off work. I'm kicking back. It's 6:30 p.m. on a Friday, and I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling freaking hot, but I think you probably heard enough about that from Europeans. But yeah, it was worse yesterday. Showdown, Mega Cities, yes. Actually, there's a lot of Netrunner happening, isn't there? I'm not playing in Showdown, but I will watch it. Monday I'll do comms for one of these things, but I don't even know what the logistics around that is. Meeting with the union organizer, very good. Good work. Yeah, so it's going to be the Boston Mega Cities, I know, and probably a bunch of other ones. I think I have a couple of my students, my people who I've done coaching with, who are going to their first Mega Cities this weekend. So I hope they all do well, because that would reflect well on me. But also I hope they do well for their own sakes, because I'm just that guy. Old Leaf Corp. Okay, let's do it. Synapse should give us the time we need to do this stuff. Now, I will disclaimer I'm not that good at Esser. So I might make some plays that you will be ironic. I have the 2 Esser cards here, which is great. but no money, no draw means this is actually a mulligan. This is probably better. Lots of money. I'm gonna have to draw, but I can Botchless HQ to set up Justushka early. I don't feel the need to Justushka particularly early, but if I can do it, I'll do it, you know? Okay, that's, yeah, early Justushka is not happening. I don't know if I want to put this on HQ. I think I'd rather put it on the remote server so that I can actually contest things. I'm not sure what that is, but I'd run it. Because if it's a spin doctor, I actually... Oh, I should move my camera. If it's a spin doctor, I would actually happily trash that. Because I do not want to just leave spin doctors on the table. Could obviously be like a behold or something, but you know, you can only do what you can do. Pap, yep. Goodbye, Public Access Plaza. No need to let that sit. Let's just draw and play a daily cast. This will bring me up to 6 credits next turn so I can play the show gamble. Okay, we're ripping, we're going. I say, we haven't done that much, but we've drawn an econ, so that feels good. Daily cast is just such a good card that maybe like you just put it in your deck no matter what you're doing here. Okay, I don't know what that is, but I would be not too sad about just like running it. They probably don't think we can get in here. I will have to clear tag last click if this does give me a tag, which it's pretty likely to do, but whatever. No biggie. I would love to take a Crypto Crash off your hands. That's gonna put me into a good spot, and I'm more than ready for you to try and oppo me if you want to. So this might be like an end pot or something like that, because they didn't even res it when there's actually a lot of cards that could give a tag here. So something like a Fun House or a like a Ping. I think you do res it still. A VSA. Okay, they're further developing, but installing this ice puts them under 4, so I don't know how scared I am of them further developing. I could try poking again. Like, if this is a premium piece of ice, it means they just drew it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. They're pretty poor now. Let's see what they do when I remove this tag. Show me, because they have to reveal whatever card this is. So if it's like a Regulus or something, I can just go and get it. Wage workers. Well, I'm not just going to let you get a wage workers. It's not exactly high urgency. They can't really afford to use it unless they're collecting for credits. Can I just rip a Chastushka here? If it's ping, it obviously sucks, but it's... I probably shouldn't. I should be responsible. I think that wage workers is pretty bad. If they do credit wage workers, like it's totally fine. So let's just draw and install the casts. That could be good. That makes me want to reprise a lot more. I mean, it's feeling fine so far, but I haven't really done too much exciting. I've just played. Okay, I'm going to run and trash that Spin Doctor. Are you on Nurse Hand? I am absolutely on Nurse Hand. I'm on 2 Nurse Hands. I think that card is just good. It's like in faction draw. Hell yeah. Just shove your decks full of card draw and you'll win everything, guys. Sprint, interesting. Assets. Tiered subscription. Diabolical. Okay. Well, it's Wage Workers, Spin Doctor, tiered subscription. I don't really care to trash tiered subscription that much, but I will trash Wage Work. I will trash the Spin Doctor. I'll just pressure it. But let's draw first. Now I can just get in. Which makes me quite excited. Now I have to remove tag. I mean, they can technically install an agenda here, but they're really, really poor. So I'd be surprised if that's how they choose to spend it, but it does work. Hollow Man install, sure. And I guess it's going to go into... Where do you even put this? Just server 2? Sure. It's not a particularly robust server, I'm sorry. Okay, we have triggered Essa no times, and we've played no reprises. And I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling good. Okay, they're installing a card in with that Hollow Man, which I suppose I should check that they're not up to anything too funny. Let's run first click. Let's draw once. That should be serviceable. Maybe they're trying to set up a big oppo, but like they're so poor. And I'm not, because I drew some econ. Let's see this new card, Regolith, happy to trash that. Let's get rid of this Hollow Man while we're here. Let's pressure Spin Doctor while we're making runs, so that we can maybe get away without giving them a tiered subscription credit. I think they'll probably pop this, yeah, because otherwise they're going to run out of cards. Maybe they're going to try big up on me, but they would need like hedge fund big oppo. And now that they've already clicked a draw, it's less and less likely. Okay, this matchup doesn't feel like one where Reprise is going to shine. It would be crazy just to rip Finality next turn. I have no Ghost Tongue or Mystic down, so paying the full 2 for it feels a bit silly. But I could just win, also. I have this Fermented ticking. But I don't think strong R&D... Oh, it is a little oppo. Just a win though, just a tasteful oppo. Gosh, you're so poor. How embarrassing. Let's just not make a run. Unless you show me something that is interesting, in which case I will rip the running heart and I will surprise you with my ability to get into whatever you do. A Regolith. Oh, that's annoying. Whatever. I think I have to let that go through. Unless I like running heart, strike, fund, run. Clear tag. Yeah, okay, that's not so bad. Because that keeps them really poor. That puts me to 0, so if they have another Oppo, I am in trouble. But keeping them poor by not letting them stick a regolith seems very appealing. They do get tiered money. These Botuluses have been some great econ. If I had to spend 1 for all the times that I've broken this ping, no good. I don't know what this is still. That is so bad. I guess it's it's a fun house. I'll end the run. I don't care. Yeah, okay. You don't have 2 credits anymore. Next turn, maybe I can Chestushka. Could be fun. Oh wow, they've rezzed the regular. I guess that's as good as triple clicking for credits, right? It's actually better, just like strictly better. Interesting. I could just Chestushka up front and just see if I get rejected, which would be sad. I could draw, I could finality. I do want to rip a Chestushka. I don't know what this ice is. I guess this is, if this is ping, which it so likely is, it's pretty bad. Maybe I just finality. I could just win here. I'm seeing a lot of cards. Yeah, okay, not so hard. 7 points in a very small number of accesses. Whatever. Okay, we got there. We didn't draw with 5s or any of the cool stuff. But okay, ESSA works. You can win games with ESSA decks. Let's play another one just as it is, because that went well, but I don't think it told us enough about the cards, the cool cards in the deck, right? But I was happy that we drew enough money. That's good. That's good at least. What are you guys bringing to your megacities if you're going to one? My prediction will be that this weekend, I think a lot of people are going to be playing that Jai's Nuvang list. That seems like a really appealing deck for a lot of people to play. And it's strong, and it's a fresh, like a breath of fresh air kind of thing, because there's been so much Melius and Alka, which are fun, and you can have a lot of fun with them, but a lot of people are, I think, sick of them a little bit. Are you annoyed because you're bringing Nuvang here? Wow. Wait, what tournament are you going to? I guess not this weekend, but you might be going to Bristol next week, eh? Everyone's going to take for Nuvang. Yeah, apparently from the data, Avasana does the best into Nuvang. Oh, Showdown Online. Yes. Hey, it's Pathesius. Excellent. Oh, how do I play this hand? Maybe this is not a hand. This doesn't do anything, right? Okay. Yeah, Showdown's going to be exciting. What's this? Do I have to care? Probably not. Do I want to just rip Mario off? I could Botulus first on server 1, because I do need to Botulus on server 1 eventually. So let's do that so I can lose a pinhole to Marrow. Losing a pinhole to Marrow is not a big deal because I still have the other one, and Melee's is not super easy to pinhole anyway. You suspect a lot of Shaper this weekend? Yeah, I could definitely see that being the case. Let's get this down. Regolith, you sly dog. Whatever. Do I like these cards or do I want to Hippocampic them? I think I like these cards. I like that card, but we can't play it. I like that card, but we can't play it. I have the same opinion. Okay, next turn is looking like it's going to be Fermenter, Gamble, casts. They've got a lot of money. Yeah, the jackpot. Triple daily casts. Hell yeah. It's a good card to see 3 of. For runner between Stealth Lou and Az, both good picks, my friend. Both good picks. Stealth Lou, it's cool. It's fun. Az, it's alright. I'm glad that people are realizing that Az is like fine, at least. Although of those 2 decks, I couldn't confidently say which I thought was better. Let's start interacting, I guess. Sure, whatever. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, you have to. Now, are these cards running Hotable? I feel like I should use running Hot on a more critical turn. Maybe just running Hot to draw 3 is fine, but don't think I really want to do that. I could install a Paladin still. Maybe running Hot next turn. It's always hard to say exactly when you should running Hot. It's just like kind of in neutral. Yeah, Regenesis, Sisyphus, sure. We've not drawn great ways to interact. We've just drawn money. Maybe there's too much money in the deck. That's kind of a funny thing to say. Let's get the acid draw off this. Steel Skin. Abyssea is something? I don't know what this is. Spin Doctor, maybe? Let's play a 5 credit card. Just check the Spin Doctor. If it's a bite, it's a bite, right? Yeah, it's good to hit the Spin Doctor now. I'll happily trash it. I could either install Abyssea or just like gamble. I could draw, but oh yeah, I could draw because I have Speclex. Yeah, alright. Money's coming in. Hello, Pinnacle number 4. The money is really good. I wish Anarch could draw cards on its own, but it's only got Steel Skins for that. Let's draw first. Let's run Archives and just tank whatever they throw at me, because I need to deal with the Regenesis. Okay, it's Cloud Eater. It just is what it is, right? None of the strike funds get hit. Can you trash an installed card, or do I suffer 3 net damage or I take 2 tags? I'll take 2 tags. I'll go back into it. It's like, yeah, okay, we've not dealt with it. We're not drawn a way to deal with this, and we can't have known this, right? And technically, I died of Fuji here, but whatever. If it's Fuji, it's Fuji. I died of Esker. Okay, I have too much money, and I don't have enough ways to interact with stuff. Obviously, hitting bite early is a bit sad, but that was not really the reason that we lost. We lost because we didn't have breakers consistently when we needed them. So let's go fix that. We need more draw or less money. That was padding out the draw. So let's edit this. We probably don't need all these casts. Let's go down to like 1 casts. These Botuluses allow with us to contest early. We've got like 2 Begamots and a Rising Tides, enough barriers. Maybe it's meant to be 2 Abyssae and 2 Echelon. I don't want to run these cards in my Esser deck. I want to just fill it full of crap. A double reprise? Yeah, there's 2 reprises in here. Those would have been good too, to be honest. Those would have been really, really helpful. But whatever. I think, like, maybe S is not a good idea just because everyone is on Regenesis and it just lets them play for free. The prize could get things faster. Gachapon. In a 46 card deck, if I see 6 cards, what are the odds that my Gachapon hits something? It's a bit awkward because it means you can't get the imp for Revolver, which is so good in Esser. I like Revolver and Esser a lot, but yeah, we can't be doing that. And we could cut like a Hippocampic in the Echelon for a Revolver, which maybe we do. Maybe we don't need all this hand size. Hippocampic and a Pinhole fitting for the Esser. Go down to 1 Pinhole. Seems scary. And then we can run like Gacha. And we're actually doing breakers. 1 Pinhole can't be right. Yeah, I mean, influence has to be somewhere. It's not cutting the Nukas. Should be 2. I can get it back with a Katorg if I really need to, but maybe it just... We have a lot of ways to contest things. We don't actually need Pinhole. We have Botulus. We should be getting our breakers online pretty quick. We have Reprise. Reprise is like a Pinhole threading, okay? Reprise is just a 3 influence Pinhole threading a lot of the time. We're doing this. Like we're Esser, you know? We don't need Pinhole threading. That's for chumps. That's for criminals and like control lists and loo lists to be playing. We don't do that here. We do interact with their board, but we should try and aspire for less honest ways to do so. Showdown hype? Yeah, I'm excited. Does anyone know what time it starts tomorrow? I'm sure that's very accessible information, but I'd rather just see it in chat. Pathisius teaching everyone Meleus and Esser. Yeah. 9 a.m. Oh. Fine. I'm not on the I'm not playing, and I'm not on the comms list. And I suppose it would probably be not well received if I were to stream it, right? Because like let the official stream get the views. Let's see if you have the chips for the stinky fish. Let's see if you have the chips for the stinky fish. Hofkorp, hooray TV. Ah, you're famous. I got to play Pokemon pre-release, but I kind of don't want to. You don't have to play Pokemon pre-release. Is this a very strange job that you found yourself in, where you just, I would, but I have to play Pokemon pre-release. I mean, I've heard some good things about the Pokemon games, but I haven't really got myself too involved. Priorities? This hand is not useful. Pinhole's nice, and Ghost Tongue is nice, but we can do better. This is better, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just jam. I work in a local game store. Wow, that is pretty cool. Sometimes you just gotta play Pokemon. No, that is pretty cool actually. Okay, they're taking it slow. Meaning that we can take it slow. We can do 1, 2. I guess we can't. We can roll the dice on this Marrow, hope that it hits the strike fund. It's not that big of a deal if it hits Botulus, because they haven't presented a remote server for us to put the Botulus on. Sad. Okay, they petty from the bin. So they had Hansei petty. That's a very strong economic opener. And because we hit the Botulus, we can't contest this very easily. Oh, and they advance too. Okay. Okay, so next turn we can contest, maybe. This could be a big ice, but we have a Volvo. I'm not going to play the Strike Fund because it's very likely it's going to get lots of damage. If it's Boto, this is really expensive too. Cloud Eater again. First ice Cloud Eater every single time. Miserable. I guess I suffered 3 net damage. Oof. Yeah, I'll play that. Reprise, unlock. Now, this is a good reprise target. Abyssea is optional in the matchup. Yeah. Yeah, Abyssea is so bad that it's like, it's borderline never going to be played or used. Now I have to put up Fermenter this turn. Because otherwise it's a very, very easy purge. That's good. That's good Fermenter value. That one made me happy. 2 reprises. Hell yeah. We could be cooking. Now, what is that? Charlotte again, right? Probably. If I run archives, do I get an agenda 5 face downs? I think it's worth checking. They probably picked archives as the meleeist trigger. But that doesn't always help because you do have to trash a card off R&D to do so. I could run HQ and see if there's just like a smaller pool of things, and I could maybe find out what the ice is for Chastushka purposes, but now you have a spare when the core damage inevitably hits one of them. I do have a spare. I do actually have 2 adversaries in the list. I could running hot this turn first to try and pressure out more cards, but then I could hit one of my reprisals or my Begamot, which I actually want. I could play Begamot, but that's pretty expensive. Maybe it's fine. If it's like a teeny is the worst case scenario, but that cost me 6, but that's fine if it is because I can just reprise. Let's just run archive and see if we can get an agenda. Athenimus, okay. That's totally fine. It is, but this doesn't necessarily mean that we don't get an agenda here. It's quite a few face downs. Oh, wow. Okay, so they're an Unleashed deck. I would like to run HQ. So maximum we are equipped to deal with. Nope, we miss. Okay. We're really poor. I would have liked to have hit an agenda. I could run R&D and try and find one. But then I'm just like poor and silly. I could just draw. Man. Okay, well this Begamot's going to make short work of the Samaximon, but I assume they'll be on some kind of Oppo also. Let's just get the Sabo out from Essa. Hits are running hot, totally fine, totally fine. So that means this is more likely to be an actual agenda then. It looks like Hugo Cabaret. Yeah, okay, so this might be, they might be looking for a Seamless so that they can find the Unleash off of this. In which case we need to play on Myco Web, hitting us for 3, which is just brutal. Chastushka's gonna cost us 2-3, but do a huge amount of disruption and probably dodge the... I need money. That could find the agenda that we need. And we could just like win in one turn. Could just be end of the line. No, I mean, we know they're on Unleash, so maybe they're spending their info on end of the line, but we also saw that they had a 4 influence and sell, so they're not on end. I think they're on exactly the old Hugo Cabaret list. A 3 credits to land a Chastushka is not bad. I could just take the agenda out of here. Since this is probably an agenda. If that's Anoetic, this is too expensive to do, and it would cost my full revolver. I may just need to credit a bunch of times. Do we think they have something installed that they can actually do with this Unleash? I can't tank the 3 on this Vithonos, so I do need to spend 2 here. 1, 2. This sucks, but I think it's the right play. Okay, they're fully going for the see how they run. If I do core, that's totally fine. So I'm going to pay 0 because I don't really mind. That hits server prize, but that's no biggie. Let's land this while it's cheap. Okay, they've seen us coming from a mile away, but it's really not that bad because it kind of just mitigates one of the Seba. 4 Seba is still a lot. And, you know, this takes a card off of R&D, so it's not. I'm not too concerned about this. They add a card from Archives to HQ. Okay, whatever. Now I could go and fetch that card and reprise, but then I can't really clear tags. One of my long-term goals is to use the 2 microwebs with raindrops to make them draw the entire deck. I've not done it, but like it's totally a possible line, right? I'm gonna play this paladin because I think he'll pay himself off. I think this game's got a lot of juice left in it. I really need some money though. Wow, I found nothing. Let's just get more clicks so I can try and find something. Echelon is gone. Okay. That seems bad. Okay. I'll still put spend 0 because I really need this to be 0. Maybe I should just not. I'm just gotta remove the tag. Oof, this is taxing. Okay, so they could have a Seamless in hand, and that could be the win. They have correctly picked that. There's no way there's nothing in here though. Yeah, okay, so we get the orbital. I can reprise this Cloud Eater. If it is the... Oh, it's Tier? Interesting. I can break the Trasher card. I can break the end of one, and then I can tank the core damage. Or I can spend a click to avoid that. But tanking 2 core damage is like really not the end of the world, right? Click the last sub, what's the worst that can happen? Genuinely, like, clicking the last sub is totally fine, but like taking 2 core damage might be good for me. Because it means I can spend this paladin on this like Botulus or something like that. I get my trigger. Like, this is fine, right? Actually, and if I clicked it, he gets the extra click. If this is a 5-3 and there's no seamless, that's bad. Okay, now I've got to decide what to do. May just be botulusing the tier so I can contest next turn. No, it is just a seamless 5-3. Very nice. Yeah, I feel we definitely could have found an agenda much earlier, and that would have... let me get this. I can get a copy of it. 1 second. So I do think Tag Melee's decks should just play see how they run and let them dream rather than the orbital. I mean, having a lot of agendas that you can set up the same player with is good consistency. Having more time to set up their unleashed players is better than having the orbitals. I like this deck a lot. I think it's really sweet. I think it's pretty good too. Oh, this one is on the public trails. Yeah, this started happening just after I stopped playing it. But it makes a lot of sense. There's an Urtica in this one. I don't know if I like that. I don't think that makes much sense, but whatever. I assume it's on bites. No reason not to. Hello, Huffcorp. Good to see you. That was a fun game. I'm just talking about this list. I like playing this Hugo Cabaret style stuff for quite a while. The public trails were in after I stopped playing with it, but I think they would make a lot of sense. They're a huge amount of pressure, and getting them back with Melee SU when you need it is great. Yeah, strong stuff. I wish I found like an agenda early. We've got pretty far through the deck. I did a lot of Sabo and never found something to land with my Reprise. But I did, Reprise a 10-cost card, which is not so bad. But yeah, if I found just one a little bit earlier of any kind, it was going to be like double Reprise. Urtica? Yeah, there's an Urtica in this. I don't know. I was just saying I don't really think this is very good in the list. I don't know why this would work. I guess it is a list where install advance is like a pretty common line. But, I mean, I don't think that's that compelling. Double would have been good. Yeah, if I just found one a little earlier, we could have basically blown you out and you wouldn't have the economy to recover. I did not draw nearly as much money in that game as I did in the first one that I played. Did I leave on? Sometimes I need to refresh before I'm allowed to view these logs. Replay unavailable, sad. Yeah. Okay, so is my list too poor? I don't like 3 of everything. It makes it predictable, and a bit of variance helps players overthink it. That's gaming. I think 3 ofs are really good usually, if you've got good stuff that you're doing and it isn't relying on gimmicks. I think people sometimes forget Netrun is a game where runners have to beat Corpse and vice versa. I also double advance to Charlotte. Runners aren't competing with each other. The runners are not competing with each other. That's true. Gimmicks are good. Gimmicks are good in Swiss. And if that's where you belong, then that's okay. Kind reminder, the Sleipnir gimmick worked just fine. Sleipnir's got no gimmick. Sleipnir is just like insanely good. Like Sleipnir is the opposite of a gimmick card. Sleipnir is like a spike card. Is it not how you spell Sleipnir? Or Sleipnir? Yeah, Sleipnir's gimmick is like, oh, this is a really good like value stat stick with useful subroutines on most board states. Something not shuffling my hands back. Oh, you're referring to a game where you tricked me with your with dastardly lines. Okay. So to clear it, they have to eat it, and with the 3 advancement on Erdica each turn, it becomes protected. Also, it's to protect the remote if they don't have pinhole, right? To protect your anoetics in between residencies. I don't know. I mean, it could land sometimes, but are you still on bites and stuff? So you bites and Urticas, or you cut bites for Urticas? And the Lacosta too, of course. Okay, so that one was poor. And my revolver ran out of counters. I could run a scrounge to get it back, but I really don't want to. You do have bite. I also have not drawn Han in any of my games, but that would be somewhat useful. Yeah. I could go up to 3 casts again. 51 cards then. It would be easier to cash out the Pally. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to have this many cards in an aggro list. I think I kind of want consistency, but we'll try big and then we can whittle it down small. Maybe 1 reprise is enough. I think you do really want 2 reprises, because on the turn that you steal the agenda, 1 reprise is a good play, but 2 reprises is like, oh, you can actually get into that Nuveng server. How are we playing cast over Fermenter? MU is kind of annoying. We don't really have that much. And I don't find that I'm getting my fermenters up past 3, which makes them not very good. You really need bigger ones. It's kind of a weird list for fermenter, I think. The incremental payouts I'm finding a lot of value in. Did I just join Tuno's game? No. I will allow people to consent to. Maybe not this deck, but I feel like Esset might be one of the few places where Rent Rioters could be playable, because you can Running Hot to get extra clicks. No. No. Rent Rioters is ass no matter what you're doing. If Seb couldn't make Rent Rioters good, a deck that actually needs a lot of money and can summon out 2 cost resources for free very consistently, if that's not good enough for Seb, nobody wants Rent Rioters. I think playing Rent Rioters because you have Running Hot is the most insane Rube Goldberg machine. I mean, it's kind of the opposite of a Rube Goldberg, because it ends immediately. So I'm going to gain a bunch of clicks and I'm going to sink them all into making a small amount of money. Not to spend clicks on the world's slowest. Like, yeah, the awesome thing about Running Hot is that you can use those clicks for anything. So you can take turns that are like bigger than the corp could expect. You could get your stuff set up, kind of like do 2 turns in 1, right? Whereas Rent Rioters is like, if the game is going glacially slow, it's kind of half decent. Yeah, Rent Rioters are just not good. There's not much more to it. It's in faction, which is something, but Daily Cast is also in faction, and that is 1 click for more money, for the most part. Like, Daily Cast is 1 click for 5, Rent Rioters is 4 clicks for 7. How much money do Rent Rioters need to give to be playable? A lot. I would need to think about that, and I need to do that math in a mere moment after I contest this Spin Doctor. Day Job used to be playable and that gave 10, so just one more. Day Job be playable today? I think I poke R&D here. If you could cheat it out for 0 and then click it for 10 credits, it would be something, right? I think I do poke R&D here, and if it's Behold, it's Behold, right? Okay, that's a good draw for them. Okay, that's going to let them flip and do whatever they want, but not much we can do about it. Okay. We can get back up to beds pretty easily. Should be fine. Drop. Let's get Daily Cast down. See, on this board state, Fermenter would be great. Daily Cast is maybe better because it's going to let us continue to interact progressively throughout our setup. They're probably comparable, actually. Probably going to be similar outputs. Spending 1 click is a lot less than 2 clicks. Mystic and Ghost Tongue, biblical greed. There's 1 Mystic, and Mystic's pretty good. We've got the reprises are 2. Do you play Raindrops? If so, save them for Empire. It's pretty good. It is really good with Empire, but I'm not playing them. I cut them for slots, as is often the fate. I'm just gonna rip this and see if it like hits Botulus or something. It didn't. It hit Abyssay, which is probably the next best thing. And then I can get back in. I probably don't need Rising Tide because I already have this Begamot in hand, but I do want this Nuka, I do want this Katorga, I do want this Chestushka. Nurse Hand could be good too. I already haven't. Yeah, okay. If that makes sense. Draw. Sure. Draw. Why not? Now this Mystic is going to get pissed at me if I don't find a use for them pretty soon. Abyssay is not what I want in this matchup, though. School window? Yeah, I mean, there's not much we can do. Reprise could be really good in this matchup. Okay, spin. Can shuffle back in the other spin, probably. It's definitely going to run that, though. No doubt about that. Not really sure if this is a scoring list or a kill list or what just yet. So far, it just looks like scoring, but it's hard to know, because a lot of these cards you'd play in anything, right? Steel Skin. Kivon Archives. I would happily running hot here. Just to get some more procs. Let's see where this damage comes off of. Lose Chestushka, that's kind of fine. Run Archives to know what they're playing. So they trashed 1 from HQ, 1 from top of R&D. If I check and I get it, I get to run and then reprise whatever they res. I could run HQ first. See if they res something big for me. Hammer. I did not expect Hammer. I thought this would be just a ping or a code gate or something. That's a bit annoying, but it's a good reprise target. Perfectly fine reprise target, so just give me the reprise. Bran. There is ice in the bin, which I really don't want them to just be installing. And then I have to clear these tags, maybe. Don't need you. I probably do want this Paladin. I also want this Fermenter. Begamot might be too expensive. It's going to beg the Bun for 1, not too far away though. So I do want it. Maybe I don't need the Fermenter then, because I'm not going to have the MU for everything that I need to do. And I have to trash Mystic. Oh man. Ghost Tongue, I miss you already. Superconducting Hub? Sure. Paladin Revolver, I guess. They're very poor now. The Mystic meme, I think I got no credits off of Mystic. A third Spin Doctor? This is a god gamer over here. But it looks like they're overdrawing themselves. Oh no, they've got 7 hands, never mind. Yeah, I'll install Marrow. Should I install Begamot first or Marrow first? I really do want the Begamot. I have 2 more Marrows in the deck. I guess I can't play this Botulus. I'm not playing this Marrow now. I love that Sure Gamble, but can I afford it? Yeah, I will have to soon. Could run the Spin Doctor. Get rid of Botulus. Now, which one here? This is tough. I'm going up to 5 credits. This Gamble seems like it should be played. I could find another Marrow. But this is how I get my Begamot up to 6. I think the reprise is still important. I guess I could just use... Yeah, I've still got 2 Katorga Breakouts in the bin, and I can use those. Okay, we're Kako Rainbow scoring. Let's strike the Embers, yep. Very nice. Can I use Marrow to trash Nuka? Probably not. That's the long way around. I could Marrow and run HQ. Yeah, I think I have to do that. Okay, that's going to be nice to redraw. And then because of JNet, I need to hosted power counter to get rid of 1, 2. Don't need to use that one because that one actually does not fire. Okay, so they're just full scoring, all the influences on scoring. The cards are all face down. The Nurse Han. The Nurse Han synergy. So running HQ currently costs me 3 credits. That's really nice. When I find Echelon, it will be at 4, and the number will not change. So the strength will be at 4. The credits that it takes will be pretty low. Superconducting Hub. Yeah, I'll steal that. That way I can Katorga Breakout. I'm 1 credit off Katoga Breakout reprising. Are you kidding me? This is miserable. Because I wouldn't be able to break the run. I mean, I can do it. Don't you have? If I Katoga, I can afford Katoga Breakout reprise, but I can't afford to do that and flip. Is that fine? Because it would cost, even if I bounce the hammer, it still costs me 1 to break the Bran. I think I still do it because like putting the hammer back in the hand is pretty valuable. Whatever. I guess I should have still run. I miss everything. Oh, I need to redo this. Start over. I'll install nothing. 3 cards going back can be Running Heart, Sure Gamble, Ghost Tongue. Draw. Draw. Run HQ. Maybe I should just be going Tag Me right now. Spin Doctor again? Draws every Spin Doctor. It's too easy for some. I guess I can like Botulus on what it looks like is most likely to be Missing Chesper. So that might save me some credits. At present, even if they play an operation every turn, I can afford to credit, run. But I can only do that so many times because revolver counters will run out. I missed the echelon of the Gachapon proc. Although now it wants me to fully break this with the hammer, because now I have something that actually trashes, but the thing that it trashes is not a biggie, I guess. Let's do this Running Heart. It trashes the worst card by far. That's fine. Let's run R&D and see what they have to res, because maybe it's cheaper. Seems unlikely, but this could be another Bran, right? It's not. It is. I think we're going Tag Me, because we can't afford to keep up with all this. I can't reach strength because it's 5 strength, but I can break 1 subroutine, which can be the add and installed card. Let that fire. Move on with our lives. Yeah, they're not bothering to res that. An agenda would be really nice. I need to win eventually. I think the only way to do that is undoing the full click they meant to res. This is going poorly when it feels like it should be going well. I may have mismanaged this somehow. Mesne Chesfo? Sure, I can still full break that. Okay, they're flipped. I could get Nurse, or I could just credit. I guess I can credit credits, and I'll just get Nurse next turn. And you're probably donezo, buddy. This is not going great. I think losing the Ghost Tongue to the Hammer. I did not expect Hammer. I did not think I would be losing install cards against NBN. He can shuffle 2 face downs back to deny it, and that might be the best thing for him to do, like, because they could be 2 agendas, but we'll see. People don't usually pay attention to Nurse Hand's actual text when people like Archives is one. They're thinking about other things. Okay, this is a disaster. I think we lose because we can't really afford to be doing all this. Okay, what am I doing here? I could running hot and just send it R&D and just see if I win, because all the agendas really should be in R&D now. There may be something in HQ. It could be like exactly, there's no petty cash in here, so it would need to be exactly operation and scoring for me to be scared. Or I could just running hot, finality. Convince me that I'm not just sending it. I would die if it misses, but it basically can't miss because I'm seeing 4 out of 12 and there's got to be points. I guess a couple of them are scored. I'm only on 3, but I just need 2 2-pointers. God is with me. Full sand? The people want full sand this turn? Can they actually win next turn? I guess they would keep the agenda that they can score and the card. So if this running hot hits finality, things are going to go a bit more poorly for us. It didn't. I can play Strike Fund and then I can rip finality. Oof. Well, never mind, didn't work. But we survive, technically. Abasay is so freaking bad, dude. Look at this. Can't break anything. It's going to cost me 4, 5, 6 to break Misne. And then I lose all my money. I have... Yeah. I mean, I'm in a tough spot here. Taylor's plus Buzzsaw. I mean, I could. I could run a Tungsten Taylor. Yeah, I played this deck a lot when Elevation was released. I think it's pretty cool. It's like not very interesting to play or to play against because you kind of just play the cards that come up. It almost never results in interesting interactions, but I think it's not that bad. Because like, you just score so quickly sometimes. I wasn't on Hammer, but yeah, all right. I think that was close. And Reprise was pretty potent like idea again, but I didn't quite line up the way that it needed to. I was literally 1 credit off being able to reprise and flip. Maybe I should have just reprised and not flipped and pressured Econ in that way. Yeah. Okay, I can do one more with it. What changes would you guys think about? Nebula did pick up a couple of mega cities recently. Yeah, I think maybe Nebula's not bad. It's just it's a little bit boring. Um, and I think there's a couple of matchups which you kind of hate. They can capitalize on Criminal and Chesva not being that popular. I could do. I could do Buzzsaw, Tungsten, sure. I think that's not like bad. It's just it's so many pieces in a deck that I want to be fast, but I guess Abyssal literally just doesn't break ice because it's too bad. So we installed it, but like it doesn't do anything. So we're going -2 of these. We're going Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw's 4 to install. And we're doing 1 tongue. Anything else here been awkward? Gachapon did miss that game, but like in general it was pretty good. Everything else here seems alright. 52 cards, man. This is really what we're doing. I could run a lower number of Ghost Tongues and Marrows. But they're usually pretty good draws. Not fond of the 52. Chestushka is maybe hard to line up, but it is so much. Like it accelerates us towards the critical mass that we want of multi-access. Paladin is fine. Mystic is fine. As these are one-offs and they're a lot of money. Minus the Botulus, -1 Strike Fund, -1 Nurse. I guess the Strike Funds have not been all that impressive, but they do prevent us from bottoming out completely, so I actually like them. -2 Nurse? No, Nurse is good card draw. I think I want Nurses still. And I think I want Nurse early, so I think maybe I don't need Rising Tide. Rising Tide has not done much for us. Begamar's not that hard to install. And we can do 2 Botulus, sure. And we can have a Svelte 50. But yeah, we haven't like come close to decking out yet, which tells us that we should not really be making these decks too big. $50-ish cards is fine with Gachapons. Yeah, Gachapons might smooth things out for us a little bit. Oh, I suppose I should. Another Synapse. Okay. This hand sucks. It's got Marrow and Nuka, which I like, but everything else is not what we need. Gachapon's useful. Nurse should be useful. Marrow's useful. Cool, cool, cool. This hand's awesome. Calvin Bailey off the rip. Install Calvin, res Calvin, click Calvin. And overdraw is an insane way to start a game. 52 cards is for Shapers, true. They're calling it the worst turn 1 I've ever seen. One, two, three, four. World's winning runner. 69 cards is for Shaper. Yeah, so there's that must be 69 card Shaper deck that won Worlds? Like a World Tree deck maybe? I don't know. I don't know that much about World history. I know that a max deck is one Worlds that had a huge amount of cards in it, and a what's it called? Last year, like Vampire Hoshika had a lot of cards in it too. I immediately forget my Gachapon. It hits nothing I can install. Oh, okay. Well, Nuka's going back, Begamot's going back, and Daily Cast can go back. Done. It's deck thinning. All right. That was dire. Is that back-to-back gacha worth? Yeah, I mean, the gacha is not good in the deck. Like, it might be fine to run it in the deck, but we don't actually have very many good hits. Always miss. I guess I should just, like, play this. There's no real reason why not to. How do you guys draw cards that do things? Anyone know? Can it be done? Maybe the Running Hots just suck. It was World Tree, okay. Play 40 to 45 good cards. That is a really good start. That will probably take us a long way. Let's just play one of these because I don't want like my hand. Draw, credit, gamble. And maybe I can gacha into a Begamot on their turn and do more Sabo. Could be good. This Reprise could be potentially useful. If I can get a Botulus, I can chuck it onto Archives. Would be really nice. You gacha into nothing and you know it. It's very, very, very likely. This nurse has also drawn me no cards. Much to think about. Let's see it. Now we hit the Beggy. Fine to hit the Echelon probably. Let's get a Katurga Breakout, a Sure Gamble, and a Fermenter back in there. Let's see what this is in server 2, hey? Starlight Knight is fine. I will happily reprise us on Archives. I could run Archives. If they res it, I reprise it. Or I could or we could skip some steps. We could skip some steps by taking this next big thing, this Freedom of Information, this next big thing, and this Oracle Think Tank. And then we don't need to reprise anything Can we find 10 points with one unique access? Okay, well, this is how you play Esther. The point stands, Nurse never draws cards. Nurse, yeah, did a very bad job of drawing cards that game. Now, granted, this is against Synapse, right? Like, maybe it doesn't matter what we're doing, but Reprise was ready to go. It was ready. It was just, it was. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe this is too much work for not enough useful situations. Problems: FGP bounces. I think someone is watching the last game. That's all good. Anyway, I'm actually hungry now. Short stream, short and sweet. You guys can just see what I'm up to. I will absolutely be watching Showdown tomorrow, but I will not be involved in any other way. Although maybe after it's done, me and Jai will have a chat because I want to have Jai on the stream. I think that would be funny. So enjoy watching Showdown tomorrow, guys. Good luck at your mega cities if you are going. Ban predictions, RLC, and then something for Melee SU, maybe Charlotte, I don't know. But probably my prediction is just RLC and nothing else. And maybe an unban on off-off. I don't think it's really achieved its stated goal. Although maybe it has. It was a kind of a vague, like, design philosophy thing about banning off-off, even though it's a pretty inoffensive card in every other way. So yeah, if there's an unban, it'll be off-off. If there's a ban, it'll be RLC, is my guess. I have no special insight that you guys don't have. Let Bologna free. They need it, but I don't want it to happen. I think Nebula just running Bolognas and just like staying flipped all the time would just be miserable. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. If anyone wins a mega city or does well at a mega city, let me know. And yeah. Goodbye. Have a good one.